What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to your channel. And I figured for today's video we'd break out the story time on how I became a pro player and the steps that I took when I was an amateur to make myself noticed and eventually move up the ranks into becoming a pro. I'm going to take you guys from when I started as an amateur player in Black Ops 2 to eventually when I actually went pro in Advanced Warfare and all of the in between, and just my thought processes and how I view the climb to become a pro. So I'm gonna keep it short and simple. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get started. It's for all you motherfuckers in my comments that think I reverse boost. Y'all think do you guys genuinely think that I need to reverse boost for a gameplay? Like, come on, come on, guys. Let's do some critical thinking here. Anyway, let's get started. Again, welcome back to the video. Let's go. Alrighty, guys, I got another banger Nuketown gameplay. This one also looks like I reverse boosted for it, but I promise I'm not doing it, guys. I don't need to do it to get good gameplays. It's just, when I'm in the lobby, other people look like bots. What can I say? But today's video, the purpose is to run you guys through how I became a pro player, the steps that I took, the mentality that I had that maybe you guys could apply to your own gameplay, or if you do want to become a pro yourself. So starting out, I began playing competitively in Black Ops 2. I used to be a competitive sniper and YouTube sniper. I'm sure most of you guys are aware of that fact already. My best friend that I had met through that became a huge competitive Call of Duty fan. I knew about it. I knew about like the staples like Matt and Seth and them, but I really didn't know much about competitive COD. I wasn't interested in doing it. I was more focused on the whole sniping thing, joining phase, the whole cliche that came with that. That's really what I wanted to do. I wasn't focused on competitive COD at all, but my friend convinced me to go to a LAN event in St. Louis. So I ended up going. I had an absolute blast. We lost to Mullet Nation, who ended up getting second at that event, which was Ricky Sharp, Nameless, and Saints. That was my first pro team I ever played on LAN, and it was an absolute blast. We actually took a map off of them, surprisingly enough. So I lost there, lost to another good amateur team. So bombed out of that, and then I went to another event in Black Ops 2 as well. I think it was UMG Dallas. Similar thing, just lost to two better teams. So at this time, I'm not taking competitive COD seriously at all. I know that I'm like okay. I don't really have a good scale to judge like if I'm really good or really bad or not or anything like that. I actually got dropped at St. Louis on Sunday. Literally my first event, I got dropped at the event, so that's a fun little factoid for you guys. So those are the only two events I went to in Black Ops 2, and then Ghost rolls around, and I want to keep playing because I'm having a lot of fun and I'm a very competitive person at heart. So this is something that maybe it could work, maybe it couldn't. I was more focused on the traditional like college route, go get a job kind of thing. So competitive Call of Duty was fun for me. It was more of a hobby than or a passion than anything else. I wasn't trying to make it more than that. But Ghost rolls around, and I think I went to 4 events in Ghost, I want to say. So I'm starting to up the amount of events I'm going to. I'm starting to take it a little bit more seriously. I'm just climbing the ranks of the amateur players, doing my absolute best to play as good as I can. And that's when I met Casey. I didn't go to school with him. Contrary to popular belief, he was not in my chemistry class. We teamed in Ghosts, and that's when we originally met, and we've been friends since then. So for those of you guys that don't know that, there it is. So I went to a couple of events in Ghosts. Nothing crazy. I mean, our best placing was like top 24 or something. So I'm top 24 just through and through for the first 2 years of me competing. And then Advanced Warfare rolls around, and this is the game that really propelled me to become a pro player. So I'm gonna break this down a little bit more in depth for you guys. So the beginning of Advanced Warfare, I was on ISO. This was a pretty good amateur team. It wasn't anything like top 12 in open bracket is really where you wanted to be as an amateur player. That was like, okay, I'm on the cusp pretty much of becoming a pro player. Is top 12 in amateur bracket back then anyway. So I was right outside of top 12. Like, our team was really good. So we went to Columbus, and then we actually lost to a team called DT. And I played super well. I was friends with all the guys on DT, so that's how my connection was made originally. So we had lost to these guys. We played them super tight. So after Columbus ends, which is the first event of Advanced Warfare, they hit me up and wanted to make a roster change. So I joined DT, and they ended up getting top 12 at that event, which is why I bring it up. So I joined DT, a top 12 amateur team there. And then I go to UMG Orlando, and we place top 12 again, and we are killing it. Like, we're crushing. We're beating pro teams. Like, that was one of the most fun events that I've ever been to. I think it was we had a losers run on Saturday night. And for those of you guys that have played an open bracket, you know what that feels like, man. You're just team after team after team after team. And every series, like, people would sit down, we'd 3-0 them, they'd get up. People would sit down, we'd 3-0 them, they'd get up. Like, that night was still to this day one of the most fun nights of competitive COD I've ever played. So we beat a bunch of really good pro teams there. And that was the point where I was noticed. I played super well on LAN at Columbus and Orlando. Like on LAN back then was like all that mattered. How you played. Now, I mean, it's a little bit different with COVID, but even before COVID, you could just play well online and you would get noticed. But back then, it was all about your LAN performances as a player, people who could vouch for you, past teammates, things like that. Now it's like, all right, bro, I won an S&D tournament. Now it's time to be in the pro league. Things are a lot different than they were back then. So essentially, I performed super well in LAN when it mattered in Advanced Warfare. So after Orlando ends, I'm approached to join a pro team named Justice. They were relegated from the league. This is when Zinni gave me my shot, essentially. For those of you guys that know that story, there you go. So Zinni asked me to team on Justice, and we have to re-qualify for the league because, again, Justice was relegated. So they get a whole new roster. We end up re-qualifying for the league, and we are just so bad. We're just the worst team in the entire world. We make like 75 roster changes. So I just keep doing my thing. I keep performing on LAN. I keep playing how I've been playing. And that's what kind of propelled me to keep moving up the ladder. Just my consistency as a player and the desire to like get better essentially is what made me keep going. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I was like relatively naturally skilled. So I just kept doing like I said, doing what I've been doing on LAN, keep the performances up, keep the consistency up, and eventually I got noticed. So that's what the Zinni shot essentially. So I got into the league. I was on a pro team at this point. I took my performance from Columbus, first event of Advanced Warfare, absolutely fried, played extremely well on LAN, moved up to a higher tier amateur team, took that team to a higher placing, beat a bunch of pro teams, maintained that same level of consistency, got better as a teammate, moved up again, and then became a pro player because, you know, eventually when you're that consistent and you have that drive and you have that hunger to become a pro player, the shot will come eventually. So did that. Got into the league again, got absolutely body bagged. For those of you guys that remember back then, it was not a pretty sight. So Justice crashes and burns. And then I joined a couple of other teams, Prophecy being one of them. Had to requalify for the league again, and we actually didn't. That was when I played with Apathy, Yuli, and Pat. And we got destroyed. It was real bad. We didn't qualify for the league again as a #1 seed, which is tough. But I took that, you know, left that team obviously because we didn't qualify for the league. Joined Envy with Cap, Looney, and Yuli, and I think that team was my first pro team. You know, like I was on pro teams before, obviously, but like that team, I was solidified in the league. It was a roster full of people that like I was really confident in, and that was my first like shot, I think. So I took the momentum from that team, joined Elevate. You know, the Envy team, we just couldn't beat Optic and FaZe, which were the two like mainstay staples of Advanced Warfare, as all of you guys are well aware. We just couldn't beat those guys, so losing to the same team every event sucked, and I wanted to try to join a team that, you know, could beat those guys. So I left. I joined Elevate for the very last event of Advanced Warfare. We actually 4-0'd FaZe in a best of 7. It was a 5-minute series. Like, we smoked them. It was not close. So did that. Advanced Warfare ends, joined Rise, and you guys know the rest. So basically the main factors that I would say in my come up were just the consistency on LAN, which again, obviously now COVID, it's really not easy to do that. So I would just say consistency online, the desire to become a better teammate, and just making sure that you're soaking in all of the information that you're getting from your different teams or from, you know, the one team that you're on. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Again, we did lose the game. My lobby does look reverse boosted. I'm sorry. I love you. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching.